Hi guys, so it's actually in the evening when I'm filming, and I don't usually film in the evenings after work, mostly because I just don't have the energy and the lighting tends to be slightly off, but it's still light enough out, and I really do need to do a little bit of extra filming because this weekend I spent some time mapping out my calendar for the rest of this month and went, I don't have a lot of time to film. I am going to have to really compress my filming days, and I'm going to have to add some days outside of the weekends, which is when I typically like to do all of my filming, just so that I can get myself ahead and make sure I'm keeping up with content, as I have a whole bunch of both work and fun personal things kind of unfold throughout this month. Just always helps to have a plan in place so you're not scrambling at the last minute. But all that to say, it's the end of a very long Monday. I have got a glass of red wine and we are here to talk about trash. So, as with all of my Empties videos, I always say that I'm going to film them more frequently and there will be less in here to talk about in my next video. I will have done these more frequently and we got a lot to get through. So let's just start pulling things out. I do feel like some of my empties may be slightly repetitive because a lot of these products I do repurchase time and time again, but I also appreciate I have some newer people to my channel who may have never heard me talk about some of these products before. So for those of you old timers who have been following my empties for a while now, I apologize if some of this starts to sound repetitive, but I do want to kind of give a brief synopsis of like what these products were. Do I like them? Will I repurchase them? Etc. So I have a couple of dry shampoos here. I use both of these for different reasons. And I think I'm at the point now where I'm going to have both of these kind of sitting in my cabinet for different reasons. The Living Proof Perfect Hair Day dry shampoo, it says it actually cleans hair, eliminates oil, sweat, and odor. I 100% agree with this. I feel like when I have just slightly greasy hair, I can spray this on and my hair really does feel fresh and clean. It doesn't feel heavy or weighed down or that it's got a whole bunch of grit or texture. I know a lot of people really like that grit and texture. In fact, there's products that actually do exactly that, build up sort of grit and texture. I don't like feeling my hair and feeling like there's something sticky. I don't like to put my hands in my hair and come away going that I have like this film all over my hands that I need to go wash off. I personally don't really care for that. So for me, I really like this one because I feel like when I have kind of third day hair, I can spray this in and it actually feels like it cleans my hair at its roots. I like the scent of it. I've gone through, I don't know, probably a dozen bottles of this. So I do like this one, but it is a little more pricey. But if I feel like my hair has ticked past the point of being like mildly greasy and now it's like full on greasy, but it's still not to a day where I want to wash it. I do color my hair and I did this summer especially lighten a lot of the certain parts of my hair, which did dry it out just a smidge. So I've been cautious about too many heat treatments and washing it too frequently just to kind of maintain both the color and also the condition of my hair. So anyway, all that to say, the Kristen Ess Dry Shampoo that is at Target, it is definitely a lot cheaper than the Perfect Day shampoo. This one is a lot more heavy duty. It reminds me a lot of the Elizabeth and James Nirvana dry shampoo that I used to use. They have discontinued that. I actually think this smells like a Nirvana perfume, and I think it's the white one that it reminds me of, but it is very oil absorbing. So on days when my hair feels really greasy at the roots, I can spray a bunch of this in, let it sit for a few minutes, and then kind of brush it out. This one does leave more of a white cast, but quite frankly, I don't mind that because what I find with dry shampoos is if you spray them in at the root, even if you've got white everywhere, pull your hair up in kind of a bun or a clip, go do your skincare, go do your makeup, go spend 10, 15, 20 minutes doing something else. And then when you come back, that white powder will have been dramatically reduced because it will have absorbed the oils and kind of disappeared. And then what is left from a white cast is very easy to brush out with your fingers and with a comb. So this is a body treatment. So this is from Paula's Choice. This is their Resist Weightless Body Treatment, 2% BHA. So it has salicylic acids and antioxidants. It says it softens rough, bumpy skin. I have got KP on the upper part of my arm. I'm not gonna be able to get this on camera. Kind of. There, you can see little bits of red dots that show up on my arms. They're worse some days than others, but what I found is if I can remember to put this on morning and night, it really does help to clear up my KP. I don't get along with topical AHAs that are just left on my body. I'm okay in the sense that they're a soap and you can rinse them off, or a face mask and I'm going to rinse it off. But in terms of things that are just left on my skin, I try not to use AHAs. I also don't love AHAs for daytime use, and I wanted to use a daytime, I wanted to be able to use a moisturizer daytime, day and night. AHAs are going to make you a lot more photosensitive to sunlight, so you really have to be super careful. And so for someone who's as fair as me, topically leaving AHAs on my skin is not a great idea, because it's just going to increase the likelihood that I'm going to burn. So I do really like this. I have repurchased another one of these. It is a new style packaging. I'll put a picture of it up here on the screen so you can see what the new one looks like. But I do really like this one. It also has really great reviews and feedback from a lot of other women who have struggled with KP, who said this has really actually helped them quite a bit. The salicylic acid is the BHA in there, and that really goes down into the pores to kind of clean at a much deeper level than AHAs do. AHAs kind of can deal with surface chemical exfoliation. BHAs go much deeper. So I think that's also why this has been effective for me. Speaking of BHAs, I've gone through another bottle of the 2% BHA liquid. This is also from Paula's Choice. This is my chemical exfoliant. I use this twice a day, morning and night. I've used this for years now. This is the product, in my opinion, that dramatically shrunk the size of my pores on my cheek area and really cleaned out the pores on my nose and shrunk those as well. I definitely feel like this is the product that also helps me deal more rapid fire with the hormonal acne that I can get along my chin sometimes. And so this product is just a I will never be without it kind of product. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It has a bit of a cult status, and I think that is for good reason. So if you are concerned about blackheads or pores that are getting clogged, this is a great product. Or if you just want a chemical exfoliant to work from the inside and out and help cell turnover, that's another great reason to use this. And then thirdly, if you want to shrink the size of your pores all over your face, that's the other thing that this does really effectively. I will say this is not an instantaneous treatment. AHAs are so popular because you use an AHA mask and it actively removes several layers of skin cells from the top of your face or arms, and what you feel is something really smooth instantaneously. BHAs take a little bit longer to work because they're actually going deeper into your skin layer, deeper into the epidermis, and actually kind of exfoliating from the inside out. So I will say that it was probably around the 3-month mark when I really started to notice a dramatic difference in the size of my pores, and my skin really changed overall. This is kind of one of those hero products for me, that if I had to point to a product that really has made one of the biggest differences in my skin, it would be this. Back to one other dry shampoo that I had tried. Was looking for an affordable dry shampoo at the drugstore that wasn't as expensive as that Perfect Hair Day shampoo, because I wanted something, like I said, when my hair got super oily, that I could spray in and it would really suck up a whole lot of oil, so I wouldn't be wasting an entire can of Perfect Hair Day shampoo, dry shampoo rather, getting that oil kind of soaked up. And so I was kind of on the prowl for a drugstore dry shampoo before I stumbled on that Kristen Ess one. I had tried the Hask. This is their charcoal with citrus purifying dry shampoo. It seemed like, as I read all the claims around this, I thought it would be a really good fit for me. I found this to be very flimsy in terms of oil absorption. I felt like I used up this entire giant bottle in about 4 uses because I was having to spray so much of it onto my hair. If you are somebody who doesn't like a white cast, and if you are somebody who doesn't really have oily hair, your hair is drier, you just want a little bit of oil absorption, this might work for you, because I do know there's people who don't like the white cast at all, and they will not use a dry shampoo if it sprays out anything white. And there's also people who don't want a dry shampoo that really is super oil absorbing because they don't need that. If that is your camp, you might actually really like this, and it is a very affordable product. It's just not what I needed it to do, so I used it up. really quickly and then moved on. I've used up a bottle of Curology. So this is my tretinoin 0.01%, azelaic acid at 2%, and niacinamide at 4%. I am on to my next bottle of this. I do really enjoy this. It is a prescription strength retinol that you can get from Curology by working with their nurse practitioners. I enjoy this. It took me a while to kind of ease into tretinoin, which is a prescription strength retinol, vitamin A. And so I did kind of have to use it every 3 days. Then I kind of cut down to every 2 days. And now I'm able to use it just about every single night. The only exception has been when I've traveled to like really dry places or I've spent a lot of time on airplanes, my skin tends to come off dry. And so I need a few days to recover from those super dry environments before I can go back to using this every single day. But in general, my skin has responded very well to this, and I will definitely continue to make this part of my evening skincare routine. I have gone through 2 of these Physicians Formula, the Perfect Matcha 3-in-1 Melting Cleansing Balms. I will say that depending on where you go and buy these, the price point for these Physicians Formula face balms are all over the place. So this is a product that I use as my first cleanse. It melts off all my makeup. It gets off all of my mascara, even the waterproof mascara that I put on my lower lashes. This gets that off. And it also rinses away without leaving a film or feeling oily on your skin. It really is the perfect balm in terms of melting your makeup away and then rinsing away cleanly. It is the closest thing I have found to the Clinique Take the Day Off balm, which isn't cruelty free, so I'm not buying that. And then the very, very expensive pharmacy balm that everyone talks about. Now, that being said, there is varying price points for this depending on where you go. Amazon definitely is the cheapest that I have found this. I think it's like $7.50 if I remember correctly on Amazon. You're getting 1.4 ounces, so it's not a huge jar, which is why I've been through 2 of them since I last filmed. But the price per ounce on Amazon when you buy these is significantly cheaper than the Clinique one and definitely cheaper than the pharmacy one as well. So it is good value for money in my opinion, especially for as effective as it is. But just watch out if you were to walk into a CVS or a Walgreens and you didn't have a pretty significant coupon. Those guys seem to be marking this to like $14.99, which is way too much money for something like this. I want to say Walmart might have a more reasonable price, and I think Target is about like 75 or 80 cents more than Amazon. So I would point you to either Amazon, Target, or Walmart if you are interested in trying this balm. I have an empty bottle here of a Micellar Water. This is from Neogen. This is their Real Cica Micellar Water. I am still on the prowl for the perfect micellar water. Neogen is a cruelty-free brand out of South Korea. So this one, along with CosRx and a few other Korean brands, are brands that don't do any animal testing themselves. It's actually illegal in Korea proper to do animal testing. But then they also don't sell into mainland China. So there is a few blogs, because I've been asked this question, there's a few blogs that I rely upon that are very specific about the brands that they have talked to and confirmed that obviously they're made in Korea, so you don't have to worry about them being tested inside of Korea, but then they're also not sold in China either. I will link those blogs below because those are the blogs that I am referencing as I am looking for Korean skincare and makeup that still meets my cruelty-free standards. Neogen is one of those brands, and I actually like quite a few products from Neogen. This micellar water is the one that I have been happiest to date in terms of trying to find something to replace my Bioderma, which was a holy grail for me for just years and years and years, and it broke my heart to learn that they weren't cruelty-free. This is the closest I found in terms of not being super fragranced and not burning my eyes when I use it. I use micellar water in 2 ways. One is kind of I hate to say a third cleansing step at night, but kind of. I find after I use my balm and then I use my face cleanser and I rinse my face off, I can sometimes have missed a little bit of makeup around my hairline or missed rinsing away along my jawline. And then I frequently am taking bronzer down my neck, and I find washing my face and getting my neck at the sink to just be a complete water show. So I tend to use micellar water to clean up any parts I missed along the perimeter of my face, and then also just remove any makeup that's on my neck. And then this is what I use as my morning cleanse. I don't feel like I wake up in the morning and need to do a full water immersion facial cleanse. I don't feel like my skin is that dirty, but I do want to start with kind of a clean slate and get off any residual nighttime creams that are still on my skin. So I will use another bamboo cotton round to put some micellar on and then wipe my face off in the morning. This is potentially the one that I will stay with. It is still more fragrance than I would like. It's subtle. It has a light sort of lemony citrus scent. It's very, very subtle. It's the least annoying scent that I've found. I can't use any of the Yes 2 products. They're all so fragranced. I've tried a number of micellar waters and they've just been fails. Although I've counted this as an empty, I will tell you I've been dumping this bottle into an old Bioderma bottle because I like the pump on it, because I can just kind of, it has one of those ones that you kind of press down and liquid comes out. And I really like that bottle and I hope it doesn't break on me. I will be very sad if it does. But so I just buy a new bottle and dump it into my old Bioderma bottle. That being said, it is truly almost empty even out of my Bioderma bottle, so I will have to buy something else to empty into there soon. I do think I'm going to try the Micellar Water from Erin's Faces. It gets really good reviews. It says specifically on there that it's not fragranced and it was still pretty affordable, and so I'm going to give that one a try next. If it doesn't work, if it's not effective, or I have any issues with it, I will probably just go back to buying this and know that it's like the closest thing I can personally find that's cruelty-free that meets my requirements for micellar water. This is from a Korean brand called Thank You Farmer, which is another one that is cruelty-free. This was sold at Ulta for a while and they've stopped selling it. This is their True Water Light Gel Cream. When I've been on the prowl for a replacement for my Belief Aqua Balm, this is one that I tried and completely used up. The texture was very similar to Aqua Balm. I just found it to be a little more fragranced than I liked. And so I was trying to find something that was on the affordable end of the spectrum, but also cruelty-free. And I have actually landed on a Trader Joe's gel moisturizer that came recommended from a couple of you guys. And I actually just read an article about it before I saw your guys' comments. And then randomly I was having lunch with a friend and she brought that moisturizer up. So I don't know if it's like trending out there somewhere, but I've been hearing a lot of buzz about it, even though I think it's been out on the market for a while now. I've tried that. It's $8.99. It's really nice, guys. I don't think it's quite as moisturizing as the Belief Aqua Balm, but it's close and it's not massively fragranced and it sinks into the skin really well. All that to say, this wasn't bad, but I'm having a hard time figuring out where I could even buy it. And since I've tried the one from Trader Joe's, I don't think I'll be purchasing this one again in the future. Another Neogen product that I've used up was their Real Ferment Micro Essence. So this is the essence I use morning and night. I put this on before I go in with my serums. I was using the Misha Time Release Essence for years and years. Unfortunately, Misha is not cruelty-free. On the positive side, this guy is. It says it's a micro essence for brighter and softer and deeply hydrated skin. It contains more than 93% naturally fermented ingredients, and the primary thing that's in here that has made it such a standout product is actually a fermented yeast extract. There is a SK2 product that's about like $200 a bottle for an essence, and they were the ones who kind of, I think, first brought this to market. And it's a yeast that is known for brightening and its anti-aging properties, and this fermented yeast is used quite frequently in skincare now in Korea. It's not an ingredient I see used very often on the US side of things, which is unfortunate because I think there is a lot of benefits to it. I really appreciate this essence, and I'm really happy that this is not only, it seems to be a dupe for my Misha essence, which I'd always heard was a dupe for that much more expensive SK2 essence. So I have a brand new bottle of this going. I really love it, and I will say these bottles last me about 4.5 months, and so I'm buying probably about 3 of these a year. and that's totally worth it to me. I'm getting over 5 ounces in each one of these bottles, and I use it morning and night quite liberally as well. Let's talk some makeup. So I've gone through an entire tube of the CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara. I really like this mascara. I feel like this is a proper dupe. In fact, almost an improvement to the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, which isn't cruelty-free. I think the wand on this is fantastic. This one doesn't dry out as quickly on me as the L'Oreal Lash Paradise used to either. It's got sort of that hourglass-shaped natural bristle brush, gives me length and volume, doesn't flake or smudge. This is fantastic. I have a couple of mascaras that I need to use up that I had kind of bought on sales that were sitting in my closet. So I'm going to use those up first. But once those are gone, I think this is going to be my daily go-to mascara. I have also used up one of the AOA Studio brow gels in medium brown. The label has completely worn off. As these printed products are wont to do. It's just one of those little fiber brow gels that I feel like gives me volume, and on days when I'm feeling lazy and don't even want to fill in my brows, I can run some of that through my brows, and I feel like I've got both shape and a little bit of filling in because of the fiber. These are $1, so why would I ever spend anything more? It's a fantastic formula. This is my Make Prem. It was my daily peeling serum revealing radiant and smooth skin. This was a PHA, so another exfoliating acid. However, PHAs are like AHAs, gentler, nicer sister. PHAs are going to exfoliate at a much slower rate than AHAs, and whereas AHAs can be a little harsh, PHAs are actually incredibly hydrating as well. So they're doing a much gentler exfoliation, and they're also incredibly hydrating. So if you like the idea of getting into chemical exfoliants, but you've tried AHAs and they're just too harsh or too drying, or you're just too scared to go right into the AHA world, look for a product with a PHA. I really did enjoy this serum. I was buying this off of the Glow Recipes website. Unfortunately, Glow Recipes stopped selling other products other than their own brand. And so my access point for this Make Prem serum is gone. I used it up. I can't really find it online, and I'm actually testing a different daytime serum from The Ordinary now that is a little bit cheaper and actually has an active ingredient that I think I'm actually even more excited about than a PHA in terms of my daytime serum. So I will have to keep you guys posted on that Ordinary serum, but I did really enjoy this one. I just had a really hard time finding another place to even purchase it online. I went through an entire container of Paula's Choice Clinical Ceramide-Enriched Firming Moisturizer. This says it's with collagen support. This is a heavier, thicker moisturizer that I use at nighttime. It has a ton of active ingredients in there. Because this is part of her clinical line, it's a little more expensive than some of her other moisturizers. This has 1.7 fluid ounces in there, and I want to say this bottle was $54. But it is completely airtight, no lights getting in as well, so the active ingredients stay very stable inside of here, and I would say this takes me around 3 to 4 months to go through one of these. So once again, I'm paying $54 about 3 times a year for this. I really like this one at night. I have another one that I am going through right now. I think it sinks into my skin well, but it still feels like it's moisturizing the next morning when I wake up. And I have been really impressed with just kind of how my skin looks and feels in the morning after using this. And she is really good about including active ingredients that are well researched, well formulated, and then well packaged. And that is one of the reasons that I do really enjoy them. And because they really primarily sell direct to consumer, I think they've also kept their price points pretty reasonable for what you get. I used up a sunscreen. So this is my Etude House Sunsprise. This was SPF 50 with PA+++. This was my go-to sunscreen for years. I would continue to repurchase this. Unfortunately, Etude House isn't cruelty free. In its place, I have purchased one from Erin's Faces, one I heard Hannah Louise Poston talking about. I do really like it. I actually think the formulas are pretty similar. I think the Erin's Faces one is a little thicker and takes a little bit more time to work into the skin than this one. This still goes down as the most lightweight, easy to use, sink into the skin quickly physical SPF that I've ever used. But I do think the Erin's Faces is a really close second and definitely the one I will continue to use going forward. This is from L'Oreal. This is the Magic Lumi Highlighter. This is a product that I'd had in my collection for a long time, and I don't think it's a concealer, even though it looks like it's in a concealer type container. From my understanding, it's very similar to the Touche Éclat in the sense that it's brightening and it doesn't do a ton of concealing. So I was using this to brighten concealers that were too dark for me, or on days where I felt like my foundation was a little too dark, I was using this in places to kind of lighten and brighten certain parts of my skin. Not an essential to my collection by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, now that it's gone, I don't know as if I'm going to miss it. I went through a whole bottle of Essie Gel Polish Top Coat. I'm not gonna lie, this makes me really sad that I can't repurchase it. This goes down in my sad face because this is the best top coat I've ever tried, and I feel like I've tried so many of them. So here's my request from me to you. If you know of a cruelty-free brand that does a top coat that is very gel-like, so super shiny, nice thick layer, not thin, really make sure manicures last a lot longer, please let me know, because I feel like I've got one from Morgan Taylor that I'm considering. I think I've got one from Allison June that I've looked at online, but I also worry that they're just Yale basic thin top coat. And what I really liked about this Essie gel top coat was that it was thicker, it was super shiny, it really did make my nail polish last and look as gel-like as possible. So super sad about this one. Please let me know if you guys have tried anything. Another concealer that I've used up, this is the number 7 Radiant Glow Concealer. This is a very lightweight concealer. I think it gives light medium coverage. So if you are looking for something that's very skin-like, doesn't look heavy underneath the eyes, isn't overly mattifying, and just conceals just a smidge, you're more of a natural makeup wearer, this could be for you. It has one of those sort of brush tips at the top. I did really enjoy this concealer quite a bit. I just feel like I'm drowning in concealers right now, which is probably why this isn't high on my list to repurchase. But as I work my way through other concealers, especially ones that are all very full coverage, because I feel like everyone wants that like blank out look underneath their eyes. I don't always want that, because sometimes I feel like then it just looks really unnatural. Like nobody has perfect under eyes with no darkness. So I tend to sheer out even those more heavy coverage concealers. I'm weird. I'm clearly not the normal YouTuber out here. Anyway, all that to say, I did like this. I could see myself repurchasing this at some point in the future. Just it's not high on my radar to do now. Another thing I have used up and actually repurchased, this is a sample size, but it's a fairly generous sample size of the First Aid Beauty Hello Fab Coconut Skin Smoothie Primer Moisturizer. This is a nice glowy primer that is very, very hydrating. So I really did enjoy taking this for traveling, because I come off these airplanes, especially from very long flights, and my skin is just drier. So I did really like this one because it was like another layer of moisture in the morning before I put on makeup, and then it gave me a really nice soft glow all over my skin. And I would take this down my neck and sort of décolleté area to kind of make everything look really fresh. I did go ahead and purchase a travel size. This is the travel size here, and this was kind of the freebie size. So in the freebie size, I was getting 0.34 ounces, and in here there's 0.75 ounces, so a little more than twice the amount. If I could get my hands on more point perks or things with these, I would just take them as point perks, but I did want to have one of these in my travel arsenal. Back to a hair product. This is from IGK. This is a hair mask. This is their Amla Oil High Shine Top Coat. This is called Expensive. I like this, but I didn't really feel like I needed a hair mask. And my hair is drier than it typically is because we lightened it just slightly with a balayage this summer, but it's not still so dry that I feel like I desperately need a hair oil sort of hair mask thing. This was nice, but I don't necessarily feel like it was life-changing, and it could just be where my hair is and the fact that I'm not dealing with a ton of damage right now. It was nice, but I don't think I see myself repurchasing it. A couple of bath products. I always forget to keep these, but apparently I remember to keep some of them. One is from Ulta. This was a bath bomb. They're coconut and almond milk bath bomb. I really like these. I think I always wait for sales where it's like buy two, get two free, because then these are incredibly affordable. And I like this coconut scent. It's really hydrating as well in the water. So I always have a few of these on hand. And then I also went through a Dr. Teal's Pink Himalayan Mineral Soak. This is Epsom salt and essential oils. This one I think had, yes, there it goes, bergamot and sweet orange oils in there. So this had a nice sort of citrusy scent to it. I do really like these on days when my muscles are just feeling really tired or achy. I also use these if I'm feeling sick at all. I will try and sit in an Epsom salt bath and kind of draw out some of that garbage. So I do really like Epsom salt baths. I think I have a couple other Epsom salt scents right now underneath my sink that I use usually maybe once a week, if not more frequently, as needed, I guess is what I would say. So I do really like these. Here it is, the last bottle of dry shampoo from Elizabeth and James that will ever exist in my collection. One, because I can never clarify if they're actually cruelty-free, and B, they stopped making these. This was the bourbon scent. I loved this scent. I love the bourbon scent in general from them. It's got like a muskiness that's not overly powerfully mannish. I like that mannish scent. I have a number of like musky candles, but I feel like it was a little overpowering in my hair. Bourbon is just beautiful. It says it was oak wood, vanilla, tuberose were the undertones, and I loved it. I don't know, I'm telling you about it because I can't buy it anymore, but this was, up until my Kristen Ess Dry Shampoo, this was like my go-to heavy hitting dry shampoo, sucks up every bit of oil in my hair. This is a cleansing oil that I picked up from Ulta. This had argan and coconut oil. This was coconut and almond milk. It was an oil that foamed, so you could put it into your loofah and use it on your body. I liked this enough to use it up and not chuck it, but I don't think I would repurchase it. One, because I feel like I'm going to avoid coconut oil on my body going forward, because coconut oil can be comedogenic, and as someone who struggles with KP and pores that are getting clogged through keratin, I don't want to do anything to make that worse. And so part of me feels like I was, for a while there, wasn't seeing the results on the KP, even though I was using this very frequently. And I think it may have been because of this. It's almost like these two were neutralizing each other. And so once I got through this and I started using a different cleanser and then using this with the same repetition in morning and night, that's when I felt like I started seeing more results on my KP. So I do think, even though this felt nice, it was very moisturizing, I wouldn't repurchase it, and I will definitely be avoiding any sort of coconut oil body products going forward. Another makeup product I have used up, this is the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion Highlighter. They only do one shade in Who's That Pearl. This is a lovely liquid highlighter. I will say it's probably a little pricey for what you get. You're only getting 0.24 ounces in here, and I want to say this was a little more pricey for Wet n Wild. I really did enjoy this, but I do feel like I've got plenty of other liquid highlighters, and I'm not currently purchasing anything from Wet n Wild, given the whole weird behavior that they had about lying about being in China and then being caught being in China, and the back and forth of, you know, are you cruelty free anymore and are you not? And I may have given them a little bit of benefit of the doubt if they hadn't just blatantly lied about it until they were forced to admit that they actually sold in China. That just seemed super sketchy to me, and so they've just been off my list of brands that I'm going to be purchasing from since then. I did use this up. I did really like it. I thought it was a very natural sort of creamy highlighter, blended in beautifully, lasted on the skin well. But like I said, I don't think it's also something that I can't replicate the effect of inside of my current collection. Another mascara I used up, Benefit Roller Lash. This is one that I had in my sort of bin of mascaras that I had purchased before I went cruelty free during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale. So when I ran out of a mascara, I ran and grabbed this guy just to use it up before I went bad. I do like this mascara, but once again, I feel like there are drugstore ones that I like better, and then Benefit is not cruelty free, so I'm not going to be repurchasing this one again. I went through a tube of Jack Black Intense Therapy lip balm. This is their grapefruit and ginger scent. I really like this. This is my nighttime lip treatment. I find that this formula goes on my lips and then stays on my lips throughout the night. So many lip treatments, even the Laneige one, which I think is a really beautiful formulation, that would be gone by morning time. There wouldn't be anything left on my lips. So I always would wake up in the morning and feel like, ooh, my lips are slightly trapped because my chapstick didn't make it through the night. This one makes it through the night, and I think it's because it's a little bit of a thicker texture. It also has some cocoa butter in there, lanolin, and beeswax. Beeswax is actually the third ingredient, and I think that beeswax is probably the thing that's helping it to stay on my lips and kind of coat and protect them. I love this. They're very affordable. I've tried both the grapefruit and ginger scent as well as the mint scent. My husband's hooked on these. More skincare. So this is the Hylamide Sub-Q Eyes. This is from the brand who does The Ordinary. The Hylamide brand is kind of like one step up, so higher levels of actives, a little bit more expensive formulations. This is the eye serum I use twice a day. I've talked about this, I feel like, to death on my channel, so I apologize if this is massively repetitive, but this is the under eye serum that I feel like if I don't use, I feel like I am seeing fine lines kind of show up more throughout the day. I feel like my eyes are not as hydrated. This is temporarily, I think, plumping my under eyes. I don't think this is one that has enough active ingredients that it's like turning back time per se, but I do think it does such a nice job of getting into my skin and sort of plumping it up from the inside out that the little tiny fine lines that I have here and the bigger lines that I have underneath my eyes are almost gone when I use this in combination with another moisturizer during the day. Now, they come back. This isn't a permanent solution. It's not like a filler or something like that, but I really do feel like this plumps my skin and moisturizes my sort of around my eye area so well that it kind of masks all those fine lines throughout the day. This is also gentle enough that I can actually put this on my eyelids as well. So because I want to be cognizant of that eye area as well and keep it hydrated and in good shape, I really like that as well, because I find a lot of eye serums and eye treatments and eye creams and things, when you put them on your eyelids, they burn. That doesn't happen to me with this guy. My daytime gel moisturizer for my eyes is from First Aid Beauty. It's their Triple Remedy AM Gel Cream. I love this. I've repurchased another one of these. This combination is just fantastic. I love them both together. So I really notice a difference when I just use this and not this, or if I use this and something else. I've tried a couple of different eye creams, and this is just my magical combo. We are so close, people. So close. This is the e.l.f. Hydrogel Under Eye Mask. This has purified water, seaweed extract, and licorice. This is a 3-pack. That's how they sell them. I think it's 3 packs for $8. This is something that always goes as part of their half off sale. So I stock up on these when they are $4, because then they're about $1 a piece. Now, I don't use these every single day, but I do take these when I'm traveling, or if I've gotten not enough sleep, or I feel like my under eyes are just really dry for a particular reason. It happens. Even with the best of intentions, my skin can get dry sometimes, or my under eyes will just, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll be like, oh man, that allergy attack I had the day before really just wreaked havoc on my eyes. These are my favorite eye masks. So I have tried so many from so many brands, from high-end Shiseido all the way down to cheapy ones on Amazon, and most under eye masks are like that sort of plasticky, floppy, often gold packed, and it kind of feels like you're putting a flimsy piece of rubber underneath your eye. I never find that those do much. Like, they're really basic. They don't really plump my under eyes. I feel like they give me a little bit of benefit, but they've never like wowed me. And there's so many versions of those at so many different price points from so many different brands. These are actually a thin, they're gel. I don't know how else to describe it. Hydrogel, that's the best way to describe them. Whereas those feel like kind of thick and rubbery and plasticky, these feel like a very thin, what's the best way to describe them? Gelatin. It's almost like a thin layer of gelatin. If you guys have ever worked with a gelatin in kitchen and you've bought those gelatin sheets, not the powder gelatin you dump in, but they're gelatin sheets that you put in a water to kind of dissolve, and they soak up the water and they kind of get a little spongy. That's what these are. So when you get them, they have a netting on two sides, and you peel off the netting, and then you put this very thin gel piece underneath your eye, and oh my gosh, do they plump and moisturize, and just honestly, they will take years off of your eyes. I use these every time I'm like feeling kind of gross or dry, but I also use these before events. I slap these on friends before they're getting ready. If I feel like their skin is looking a little dry or just wants to be boosted and you want to take, years off of your skin by just plumping it through moisturization. I can't say enough good things about these. I think these are a true hidden gem out there, and I need to do a better job of shouting these from the rooftop. Another makeup product that was in here, this is my Makeup Forever Ultra HD Stick Foundation. I did finally use this. Close to use this puppy up, but the scent went off on me, so I just chucked it in here. There is literally like tiniest bit left I could possibly dig out, but the scent really did go from smelling like a normal foundation to smelling very chemically and off. I did make the decision to just call this an empty and chuck it in the bin. This continues to be my favorite stick foundation that I've ever used. I am on the prowl though. I do have other stick foundations that I have kind of been sitting in the back burner wanting to test, because I would like to find something comparable to this, because obviously Makeup Forever is not cruelty free, but if I can find a dupe for this, I will definitely let you guys know. Two more things in here. One is another concealer. This is from Milani. This is the Retouch and Erased Light Lifting Concealer. And I'm holding this up and it looks like it's completely full. I swear to you guys, it is not. I have squeezed the absolute crap out of this to try and get every last iota out of here. It is gone. I like the actual product that's inside. I really dislike this applicator, not because it's a sponge tip, but because it's really hard. With the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, it's light and fluffy and it helps move it around your skin. Same thing with the Charlotte Tilbury concealer. It's light and sort of fluffy flocked tip, helps to move concealer evenly around. This just feels like a rock, and you're just kind of like, it just kind of smears it in one little line. Do like the product that's inside. I wish they would just redesign the packaging. Last but not least is another foundation. So this is from L'Oreal. This is the True Match Lumi Cushion. I have the shade W2. I do think they've discontinued these. Last time I was walking in the store, I didn't really see them anywhere as I've kind of walked aisles, and even though I'm not purchasing from L'Oreal or Maybelline or any of the drugstore brands that are not cruelty free, I still kind of pay attention to what they're releasing, because I'm just kind of curious about what all brands are doing, regardless of whether or not I will personally purchase from them. I haven't seen these in a while, so my gut tells me this is a bit of a fad and it fell by the wayside. It was a bit of a ripoff. You were only getting half an ounce in here, 0.51 ounces, and you were paying like $15. So this equated to pretty much like a $30 foundation. And so you're basically buying a high-end foundation. The thing with cushion compacts, and they're not wrong, when you buy these even in Korea, which is where this trend originated, there are a half an ounce in those products as well. However, 9 out of 10 Korean brands give you a backup compact. So you get the one that comes in the cushion, and they give you a separate one that you can refill the container with. And so you're getting 2 or a full ounce when you buy a cushion compact in Korea. I feel like L'Oreal just tried to pull one over on America and was like, what if we just sold them a half an ounce and we didn't give them a backup cushion? Would they fall for it? And I feel like a lot of us were like, this is really nice, but no. So I do feel like the cushions have fallen by the wayside. I have same thing with Maybelline. I don't see them selling them anymore. I did really like this. It was light, it was thin, it was serum-like. I did really like this, but it is gone. All right, guys, that is it. That is all of my empties. So many empties. Once again, I'm going to say what I always say. I need to film these more frequently. All right, well, I'm going to go load up my recycle bin and I'm going to go get some dinner. I hope you guys have an amazing week. Cheers to you. Bye.